law school. Okay, so we're going to finish up the next subheading of Leo. Okay, so for those of you who are new, this is our textbook, The Gospels and the Zodiac, The Secret Truth About JC. This is by Bill Darrell-El. All right. The link to the free PDF is in the description area of this video. We're going to pick up where we left off, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Page 122. Page 122. Now note the significance of the author's viewpoint. Uh-oh, let me turn the camera back around. How do I do that? Okay. All right, note the significance. I don't know what's happening with my camera. All right, note the significance of the author's viewpoint. Page 122. We're going to go to the paragraph here. I would like for everyone to open up the PDF or pull out your physical copy of this book. And let's begin the presentation. All right. So it reads, this is the meaning of the quote, crucifixion, end quote, predicted by J.C. Dane Rudyer on page 71 says that a tendency to self-dramatization, to feeling, feeling quite special. Okay, so in my opinion, the author is saying right here, or the way I'm going to interpret this, is that the author is saying that the person is having success. Okay, real world success, measurable success, and the person is beginning to gain confidence in his ability and to feel good about what he or she is doing. All right? That's what's happening here. Okay, so Dane Rudyer on page 71 says that a tendency to self-dramatization, to feeling quite special, accompanied by a growing feeling or sense of spiritual achievement, are the pitfalls, keyword pitfalls, associated with the Leo phase of the spiritual journey. Now again, that's page 71. So there's a lot happening here, and there's a lot here that I strongly disagree with. And I'll begin by saying this. Whatever it is that you are working at, the goal is to master it, to become extremely successful at it. Okay, that's the goal. Otherwise, there's really no purpose of doing something. Now we know that in the law, the Most High says that whatever we put our hand to, He will make an extraordinary success. You'll read that in Deuteronomy chapter 30. Okay? Whatever you put your hand to will become a huge and tremendous success. And that those who follow natural law, those laws that govern nature and consciousness, if you follow those laws, you will become extremely prosperous. Now that is in contradiction to what this person, Dane Rudyer, is saying, and also the author's opinion. Okay? So the author is saying that when you are doing this spiritual thing, when you begin to realize how successful you are and you begin to feel good about yourself and your self-image begins to improve, the author is saying that that is a pitfall, that that's a negative. Do you guys see, scholars? Do you see the contradiction here? This has nothing to do with our law. Absolutely nothing. This is something new. So let's continue. All right. Now it continues to explain, I'll continue. So these are the pitfalls associated with the lion phase of the spiritual journey, which is why JC explains that suffering, not self-glorification, is a necessary consequence of Christhood. Do you guys see the contradiction? This is the suffering servant reference at Isaiah 52:53. Okay? There's nothing mentioned about suffering in the blessings. Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14, there is no suffering. But when you go to the New Testament, Christianity requires you to suffer. Y'all got that? If you want more on this topic, go back and watch episode, I think, 3 and 4, where I talked about the suffering servant, okay? And how that has absolutely nothing to do with our commandments, with Moses' words. Absolutely nothing to do with it. It is a contradiction. So you make the choice. Do you want to follow natural law, return to the Most High, and prosper, and feel good about your prosperity, and not have to feel guilty about your prosperity, not feeling guilty about your wealth, about your lavish lifestyle, being proud of it, enjoying your wealth? Why? Because you're living in harmony with natural law. In other words, you are doing what? You're following the principles of your ancient foremothers and forefathers, Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. You're keeping the commandments. And therefore, you are entitled to a lavish lifestyle, good health, to be the leader in and across all areas of human activity, of all areas of man's activities. Okay, not human, man's activities. Y'all see it? You're the rightful heir, you're the sovereign, not sovereign citizen, sovereign, rightful heir. That's right, you are the owner of the land, all of it, all of the energy, all of the resources. It's yours. But do you accept it and use it? Or are you going to abandon your nationality, your rights, your hereditaments, in exchange for Christianity and what's being offered in Christianity, the kingdom? You're exchanging it for the kingdom and spiritual gifts, which are a bag of nothing, as we discussed in episode 3, 4, and 5. All right, go. If you want the details of that, go back and watch that. Okay, but it's a big bag of nothing. Okay, and what you get is suffering. What you have to expect and hope for is suffering in this life. Okay, so let's get back to the text. All right, so self-dramatization to feeling quite special, accompanied by a growing sense of spiritual achievement, success and achievement, are the pitfalls associated with the Leo phase of the spiritual journey. Again, that's Rutyer, page 71, which is why JC explains that suffering, not self-glorification, is a necessary consequence of Christhood. Y'all see that? So if you want to follow Christ, if you want to be in this New Testament game, you need to accept that you're going to suffer. Not only accept it, but you need to expect suffering. Now, y'all tell me, when you expect to suffer, what are you going to get in your life? You're going to get a bunch of events and situation, a bunch of causes that are going to cause you to suffer. Why? Because you attract into your life those things that you focus on and that you have strong feelings about, right? Or let me rephrase that. Those things that you have strong feelings about. You love them, you hate them, you are afraid of them. That's what you're going to get in your life, right? So if you have a fear that's stronger than the love, the fear will show up in your life. Whichever one is more intense, that's what you're going to experience in your life day to day. That's going to be your situation, your lot in life. Why? Because you are your own creator. Psalms 82:6. You are your own creator. And what you feel strongest about is what you tend to what? Focus on. What you tend to imagine, consciously or unconsciously. What you tend to remember, consciously and unconsciously. These things that you feel strongly about becomes your life condition and your lifestyle. Hence, do you understand why you are bombarded with negative media? Why you are bombarded with slave movies? Y'all see it? To keep you in that state of mind. See, it doesn't matter how those thoughts get there. As long as they're in there, you are going to manifest that. Cheers. This is black tea. This is black tea. This is actually free. For those of you all who don't know, in Vietnam, they give you free hot tea. This is herbal tea, black tea, grown locally at a farm in Vietnam. All right. And I have my customary black cafe, which is actually an herb. So when you don't put sugar and you don't put milk, if it is a non-hybrid coffee bean, it is an herb. Okay, it is an herb. So it's good for you as long as you don't drink too much. But anyway, let's continue. See, this New Testament is very toxic. Very toxic. It's taking success. Well, it's taking the mind sciences and using them in a very genocidal way. Okay? But that's what the dark side does, right? They take a science and then they remix it into a very genocidal, toxic tool, weapon. Okay? In other words, they weaponize it. Like and share the video. If you've been here since I started, we're 14 minutes into it. If you're still here, if you've been here longer than 5 minutes, please like the video, subscribe. Not please. Like the video. And subscribe if you've been here more than once. If you don't like it and you've been here more than 5 minutes, please go. All right? Don't sit here and consume my content and not like the video. So if you've been here longer than 5 minutes, you must like it. If you don't want to do that, for me to distribute this video, I'm inviting you to leave now. Okay? If this is not your first time here and you have not subscribed and you don't want to subscribe, then please go. I don't want you here. Okay? No freeloaders. No one-way street relationships. Okay? I would appreciate it if you respect that. Now let's continue. The author says, that self-glorification is not allowed if you want to be Christ-like. You cannot glorify yourself. I completely disagree with that, because it is necessary for you and me to see ourselves in the most glorious images that we can. And there's a difference in having a very positive self-image. That's something different than being a selfish, rotten, egotistical, self-centered person, having no empathy. The two are very different. Y'all see it? If you see yourself in a magnificent way, in a glorious way, and you are empathetic toward other people, you're concerned with other people's well-being, well, guess what? You can use your wealth and your riches to help your kinfolk and your community. However, with the destroyed and shattered self-image that almost all of the blacks, the African Americans, the Latinos, the Negroes, blacks, coloreds, African Americans, Latinos, Native Americans, almost all have a destroyed and shattered self-image. They have no wealth to be able to help even their kinfolk or their community. So what good are they? What can they do to help someone else when they can't help themselves? And a person who has a shattered self-image or a destroyed self-image, even if they get some riches, what are they going to do? They're going to blow it. It won't last long. And it will not be used persistently. It will not be applied persistently long enough to be able to do some good for their people. It's wasted, gone with the wind. It'll go back to the hybrids. Right? Y'all know it's true. They'll put it in the hands of Mercedes-Benz. They'll put it in the hands of Gucci. They'll put it in the hands of Nike, NFL. Right? But if you have a magnificent self-image, you see yourself in glory. And isn't it strange that the Christ figure is seen coming in glory? Right? The imagery of the Christ figure, Darrell-El said red bottoms. Can you explain, Darrell-El, what that means? Because I'm not familiar with that. Christ figure is coming on the clouds. He's coming in glory. Right? All of this magnificence associated with the Christ figure. Magnificence associated with the Tetragrammaton. Jewels, precious stones, light. And you're told to follow their examples and to be Christ-like. But you're told to be what? Humble. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being humble. But you're told to be what? Okay, Darrell-El writes, expensive shoes women wear that have red. Okay, well, I should have known that one. I have to laugh at myself on that one. But the Christian is not supposed to wear spectacular clothing unless he or she gets accused of being what? Materialistic. Right? Out for money. And you got to be a fool in this world if you're not trying to get rich. Let me tell you. In this world, every man and every woman should be focused on becoming wealthy. For reasons I just discussed, especially the men. Because if you have nothing to give, if you have no wealth, no riches to give to help even your kinfolk, what good are you? Absolutely none. So do you all see the contradictions that the New Testament is? Do you all see the genocide of the New Testament? It's telling you to accept being poor, to have a low self-image. Creflo Dollars and TJ Jakes wear $5,000 suits. Yes, they do. And in my opinion, if you're getting your riches in an honorable way, wear a $10,000 suit. If you're getting your riches honorably, wear all the bling you feel safe wearing. Okay, let your light shine. Make it rain. If you're getting your riches honorably. Why? Because it helps you to feel good about yourself. It gives you a strong self-image, right? And when you have something to give other people, you can help a lot of people. Darrell-El writes, Joel Osteen can't leave out the hybrid. Now, please, nobody out here saying, don't start saying, no one starts to say that I'm endorsing these religious leaders, because I'm not. Okay, I have no thing to do with any religion. I have no part of religion. Okay, I don't want anything to do with religion. Okay, and I don't approve or endorse any manipulation or scandal that goes on in those organizations. I endorse natural law. That's our law, natural law, physical and conscious laws that govern the universe and all intelligent activity and commerce. Okay? These are our commandments. Exodus chapter 20. At their essence are natural law. All right? But what I'm saying to you is consistent with the so-called blessings. And blessings is an abstract word. In Ibaryath, the blessings are actual tangible wealth. So if you got all of this wealth that the Most High is promising by contract to give to us if we live in harmony with natural law, so you got all of this wealth, and you're going to turn around and wear some dirty, raggedy clothes? Are you going to walk around in the worst pair of shoes that you can find? Or drive the worst car that you can find? Or are you going to go out here and create your own pair of shoes? Right? You start manufacturing shoes. Design, manufacture, distribute, and sell. You start a whole company. Okay? Are you going to wear the worst clothes? Or are you going to go get something that's spectacular that you feel good in? Right? It should be obvious. If you feel good about yourself and you see yourself in a glorious, magnificent light, you're going to what? On the outside, you're going to appear as you are in the inside. You're going to appear glorious. That's all I'm saying. Get it, and get it honorably, and enjoy your wealth. And spread the wealth to help your kinfolk and your community and your nation. All right? So what is that called? That's called group economics, and making your, for example, making that Federal Reserve note bounce in your community, not 15 times, but 30 times. How about that? 30 times. All right? So let's continue. A lot of problems with this Christian doctrine. Peter's reluctance to accept this prompts JC to say, quote, "Get behind me, Satan." Now, what is Satan? Satan means opposer. And to tell him that his ideas are not of capital G-O-D, but of men. This is Mark 8, verse 33. Peter represents all those who have not yet moved beyond the point of feeling quite special, end quote. Y'all got that? So here, the author or the doctrine is again transporting you into the story, because JC was talking to Peter. He was not talking to me, and he's not talking to you. Y'all got that? But the author is presenting a doctrine that transports you from where you are in reality, right, the here and now, and transporting you into the gospel narrative. Well, now, JC is talking to you and everybody else. Although on the page, he's only talking to Peter. So don't be sweet-talked. Don't get fascinated by the story and propagandize yourself. Brainwash yourself. Okay, stay in reality. Peter represents, there we go. Whenever you see represents or this illustrates, you should know that there's a doctrine following. They got to explain it to make it apply to you. Okay? Peter represents all those who have not yet moved beyond the point of feeling quite special. Now, I hope everyone listening to this, watching this video, have achieved the point where they feel quite special. Okay? What do I mean by that? Where they have learned who they are and they accept it. Where you have learned who you are, Psalms 82:6, and you accept it. More than that, that you use it. Once you get to that point, you've made it. Don't go back. Don't go back. Like the blind man in Mark 8:22 through 26, he can see, but not clearly. And like the rest of us, well, here they are, transporting us back into the story. Narrative transportation. And like the rest of us, see, no, not like me. He has still to learn the lesson of, notice this, self-crucifixion. Now, I don't want to learn a lesson of self-crucifixion. Y'all can keep that. I'm not trying to crucify myself. That's called self-sabotage. Self-crucifixion, I'm going to limit myself? No. Open your eyes, scholars, open your eyes. If you limit yourself, i.e., if you crucify yourself, you're limiting yourself. You're leaving wealth on the table. But you know you should not leave any wealth on the table. Don't leave any money on the table. But these doctrines require you to leave the money on the table. Let's continue. Oh, by the way, you work hard, you relax, you meditate, you get silent, you practice the discipline of self-relaxation, and you work hard when it's time to work, and you play when it's time to play, and you relax when it's time to relax. But you're being told that when it's time for you to reap the harvest, when it's time to reach the harvest, you need to crucify yourself. You need to leave all of that in the field. Let somebody else come take it. And believe me, they will take it. Right? They will take it. I don't believe in one-way street relationships or letting somebody take what's mine or being used. No, 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 no. I'm not a floor mat. So let's relate this to astrology. Show you how tricky these folks are. These its are. Okay, so June 23rd, thereabout. The sun is in Cancer. The zodiac sign Cancer. It's at its highest point in the northern sky. It cannot go higher. The only place to go is downward. So the sun begins to fall. It descends into August, right? August is what? August is the autumn equinox, right? The autumn equinox. So Christ brings justice back. What is this meaning? So in the spring equinox, Christ brought justice, right? 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. But as the sun ascended, as the sun moved northerly, as the sun ascended, the number of daylight hours increased. And now there's what? Injustice. All right? Now there's injustice. 13 hours of daylight, 11 hours of darkness. And the number of daylight hours continue to increase until we get into June 23rd. All right, that's the maximum number of daylight hours and the minimum number of nighttime hours. So this is injustice. This is sin. This is inequity physically, right? So there's injustice, there's sin in the world. Now we go to the autumn equinox. Christ has what? He has brought back justice. Brought back 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night. Y'all see it? August is now what? The covenant of grace. You go collect your harvest. The benefits of all your hard work and all the waiting, all the suffering through the winter, all the work through the spring and the summer. Now it's time to collect the wealth provided to you by the earth in the form of your harvest. Okay? Christianity is telling you to leave that. Leave it. And let the church or its other corporations come in and do the harvest for you. And you won't get anything because you gave up your birthright. It's no longer yours. You've been escheated out of it. They take that harvest. Y'all got it? It's theirs. They hit you with bills of attainder to take whatever you got stored up or whatever you can get from day to day. They hit you with bills of attainders and take it from you. Okay? Now, what's happening next? Relate this to this story here that we're reading in the book. When the sun passes below the celestial equator, this is Christ crucified. So they're asking you also, because you are Christ inside, to crucify yourself. Y'all see the astrological parallel? To crucify yourself. And I'm here telling you, don't do that. Return to the Most High, follow the Most High's instructions. Live your life in harmony with natural law. All right? Be out here to get everything that's rightfully yours and enjoy it. All right? And enjoy it. And don't be ashamed of your lavish lifestyle. Okay? And help people when you can, especially your kinfolk in your community and your nation. All right, now let's continue. There may be an allusion to the constellation Corvus. The constellation Corvus, Corvus. Corvus is the raven constellation, one of the deacons of Leo. So the raven constellation, or Chorus, is located near Leo, near the zodiac sign Leo. In JC's rebuke of Peter, okay, so Corvus may be related to that rebuke that we just went over. In his Metamorphosis, Ovid tells the story of the raven who, on reporting unwelcome news to his master, has his former silver color changed to black. Okay, so initially, according to this story, the raven's color was silver, okay, and it was changed to black. The story concludes, then he turned upon the raven, wanton babbler. Okay, so Peter was babbling, right? See thy fate, messenger of mine no more, go to Hades. Okay, Peter, JC said, get behind me, Satan. Go to Hades with thy prat. According to Allen, it was this story that the name Garalis Predator, or talkative betrayer. So Peter was the talkative betrayer in the story, okay? Peter was the talkative betrayer. Okay, came to be associated with this constellation. Okay, so that's the rationale why the raven constellation may be associated with that story about Peter where JC tells him to get behind me. Okay, scholars, that's going to conclude this episode. Be sure to support, if you feel it in your heart, my writing, the Book of the Law in Ancient Ibaryath, which is the original language, removing all of the doctrines, removing all of the deception, all lies, and all mythology, and adding back the natural law and natural law principles, adding back those verses that show escheat, that show attainment, and other strategies and tactics that are used to oppress us. Why is this important? Because this will help to identify who we are, okay? By law. By law. Islam to all the Moors, Shalom. Also be sure to buy my books. The links are in the description area of this video. Support my work. Support this channel. Like and subscribe to the video. Subscribe to the streaming one-on-one Ancient Ibaryath class. And come see me live online in class every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all are invited. You can come for free. Make sure you read the description area at the link for the 506 The Curses course.